Child, I'll tell you, this binder is filled with stories. I did it to myself again where it's posting day and I'm just now getting to record it. And we're going to get these because we already know, child. Don't even bother doing anything without it. Welcome to Unpublished, a work in progress audio podcast by Denise Renee. Here I share past unpublished creative works, current writing projects, still in process, and whatever whimsical musings or deep thoughts I have about the creative process. If this is your vibe, then keep listening as I get into today's content. Hey writers, welcome to this episode of Unpublished. I think it's episode 8, and I have done it again. It is the day of publication. It is Saturday, February 15th, the day after Valentine's Day. So I'm in my heart shirt. I have my Valentine's nails. This time, last episode, I did not let you see my desk area because it was looking a whole hot mess. But I've since zhuzhed up the place. I got my little bowlingy cup holder with my bowlingy pens and I have a whole mat laid out. It's all this color, so I have like my little ergonomics and my little ergonomics. And then we are decorated with Valentine's from Valentine's past. My little mug. These I've already had. These rose pans. My little rose flowers, this came with the calendar. Wait, can you see the calendar? Hang on. Yes, now I'm giving you a little living room workspace tour because now I'm private. So this already came with the calendar. So that's decorating the space. And then this guy over here come here, baby. All right. So every year I just collect a little something for Valentine's Day. This one is from 2001. So I'm not buying bears every year. For what? I already got one. And then we have our fuzzy pink throw. Yes, child, we have zhuzhed up the place, honey, child. So anywho, it is that time. And again, like I said, I did it to myself again where it's posting day and I'm just now getting to record it. But I really don't edit these, so because I be having a lot to do. Actually, I was supposed to be doing a workshop today, but it got pushed back. So I don't know. I guess I got a little lazy and don't ask. So anywho, so today we're going to be finishing up the story that we, let me bring this closer because, all right, now that I have a riser, let's use it. I have a riser for my monitors. So we have more space. Okay, so we are no, we're not at 4 women in the house. Although that would be an interesting one to leave this laundry. Child, I'll tell you, this binder is filled with stories. Nope, not going home. Nope. We were reading Greener Grass. Where is Greener Grass? I should have been a little bit more prepared, but I literally just pulled this out of the, here we go. Just pulled this out of the office. All right. Found it. Okie dokie. So we're going to move this out of the way because, we're pink over here. And we're going to get these because we already know, child. Don't even bother doing anything without it. So last we left off in our story, our hero has walked all the way to his mom's job at the diner, and he lets her know that he's lost his job. And he walks all the way back home to, where is it that they live? They live in a Texas town. I don't think I gave the town a name. I just kind of made it up, child. Had I been to Texas at that point? Yes, I think I did go to Texas. I did. I've been to Texas about, I think, 3 times in my life. But he is in a section of town. His street is called, I want to say it's Melbourne Street. Where is it? First of all, I don't know why I'm bothering to look without these. Yes. Oh, Melba Street. My bad. Melba Street. So he has walked home and then he decided He didn't want to go into the house. He wanted to go to his friend Harrison's house. And again, I have not read this in a bazillion years. So this is another cold read. But nevertheless, child, here we go. So Greener Grass Part 2. I'm going to pick up a little bit before where we left off the last time. So Harrison's house was at the end of the block, or the first, depending on how you looked at the dead-end street. It was cut off by a massive, overgrown field of scorched grass and dry reeds that stretched out for miles in a rough half circle. The home stood feebly at the base of the field, the sole soldier trying to keep it at bay. T heard voices before he actually reached the porch. Harrison always had young and old around him. Two of T's friends, Milt and Ajax, were there. They exchanged what's ups as T stepped up. The small party of men made space for him. Harrison himself was the only one sitting in a chair that his ex-wife found in some white person's garbage. Ex, but not legally. She didn't have the time or money to file for a divorce. She just picked up and left. T, my boy. Shoot, ain't seen you in a while, man. Harrison's thick voice hailed him. Yeah, man, have a Jack Daniels, his raspy voice commanded as he reached behind the chair for a bottle. Nah, man, my moms would be mad if I came home drunk. Aw, man, the two older men, Craig and Jackson, cried in unison. Harrison and Chow. I told y'all the last time. Editing. But this is a little typo. But I got to get rid of it so I can read. Okay, Harrison and the younger men laughed along with them. See, man, that's your problem, Jackson said. You need to grow up and get out your mama's house. Yeah, boy, you gotta be a man, Craig piped in. Yo, that's what I've been telling him for years, Milk joined in the chorus. Look, she ain't got nobody else, all right? T finally defended himself. Y'all know what she done been through. Oh, we know what Emma Jean been through, said Harrison. I remember that no-count father of yours. She better off without him. Now hold up, T started. Oh, don't you go getting yourself all riled up, Craig interjected. We used to run with your pappy, and we know what kind of fella he was like. That's all we saying. Yeah, man, don't take offense. Fact is, he left. Jackson took a drink of what was in his glass. Brother needed to. We all do. He just one of the few that got guts. Harrison poured himself another shot. Shoot. He dragged the word out. Think I sitting around here worried about how Katie left me? Shoot. I wish sometimes she'd have taken me along. Yeah, man. All them cats probably having a good life somewhere, Milt threw in. Especially Fishtail. Yeah. But then Fish got ants in his pants. He probably gone from wherever he done gone to, T added, and the two other young men laughed with him. Don't be surprised if y'all see that boy back here sometime soon. Y'all don't never stay away from home too long, Craig said. Nah, man. You don't know Fishtail, T said. See, you cats don't know nothing. Shoot. Harrison slapped his knee. You can't run away forever from something that's everywhere. You always come back. See Jackson over here? He left. Thought he could follow Dr. King anywhere. And where he at now? King in the grave, Jackson home, an old man. Harrison emphasized the word. Jackson said, you better watch your mouth. And here it is, 20 years later, and things still ain't changed. We black people still poor, still on the outskirts of town and civilization. Shoot, even your friend, Black, left, a big 16-year-old. Now he back from gallivanting 3 years later, an old man. You ask him what he seen out there. But how do you know all this stuff, Harrison? Milk challenged. You ain't never been further than Dallas. The young man chuckled slightly, but only at the joke. Boy, I've been around longer than you, and I know enough people done been out there and come back and died where they started from. Shoot, I know it sound pretty out there, but it ain't. Shoot, I don't mind going, but there ain't no point. Only be a change of geography. He pronounced, he pronounced all the syllables. I'd rather be here where I know and don't bother with dreaming for. Oh Lord Jesus! I told y'all in the last episode. I was really presumptuous with some of this writing and some of this caricature caricature-ish stylized language that does not roll naturally off my tongue. But anyway, we're gonna slosh through it. Where is that? Okay, only be a change of geography. He pronounced all the syllables. Okay, I'd rather be here where I know and don't bother with dreaming for for what other people got, but I ain't never gonna get. She could read, y'all. She could read. All right. It had grown dark since T first arrived. He could no longer see Harrison's face, only flashes of white that were his teeth when he talked. He tried to believe what Harrison was saying. He had always had a healthy respect for him. Everybody did. But if what he said was true, then all of his mama's plans and hard work and scraping and saving didn't amount to anything if everything was just going to be the same everywhere. It couldn't be true. He had seen a lot go and most come back, but there were those few who hadn't returned to date. He had to think of them. As much as he pretended not to agree with his mother, he too didn't want to spend his life in the Melbuses of the world. T closed his eyes as the conversation buzzed around him. In the back of his head, he thought he imagined his mother's voice calling him, but it got louder and stronger. He opened his eyes and looked down the street. She was coming towards Harrison's place. When the men realized who it was, they began to laugh among themselves. Guess the party's over for you, man, Milt whispered. Ew, shut up, T said, jumping down to the street. Emma Jean squinted against a no longer visible sun as she approached. T, that you? I know you're not drinking again. It was more of a command than a question. Harrison, why are you trying to mess up my boy's head with that stuff? Relax, Aunt Eva. Shoot, I wouldn't do nothing to hurt your boy. Harrison responded as the two walked off, laughter still in his voice. Don't mind them old men, T. When you and me finally get out of here, it's going to be you and me laughing, right? She didn't notice that he didn't answer. Take a little sip of water. All right. That night, he dreamed of something he hadn't thought of in a long time. The voices had slowly slunk up the stairs and crept up behind his 3-year-old frame. At first, T thought his mother and father were laughing, but the way the voices were loud, then soft, made him stop playing with his toy soldier and try to listen. Then he got a better idea. He left his room and inched his way quietly down the stairs till he could see the back of his father's impressive frame in the open doorway, casting a long shadow over his mother. She was talking, but her voice started to drop from his consciousness as he realized his father wasn't responding. Little T gripped the banister for support as he continued to stare at his father's back. Why wasn't he looking at Mommy? Her voice quietly asked, Why are you doing this to us? She was using her hand to steady herself against the wall. His father's continued silence began to scare him. Where you going? She asked. Going? Why had that sounded so wrong? T opened his mouth and tried to say, Daddy, but the air seemed to slowly be draining from the room, and his father began to move out of the door. As his shadow left the doorway, it seemed to take with it space. The walls seemed to march in together, enclosing him and his mother in an inescapable grip. The body was no longer in the doorway, but T saw his arm reach back to close the door, sealing the trap. His mother inhaled sharply, and T turned his attention to her. She hadn't noticed him. She turned and walked slowly to the kitchen, clutching at her stomach as she went. T pulled himself up and climbed down the rest of the stairs. He made his way to the kitchen doorway, hunched himself there, and looked at his mother. She was sitting at the table with the last of his beer. Mommy? She looked at the can. Mommy? Where Daddy? She popped the can. Its contents frothed over into her hands. Daddy coming back? The symbol of America and its greatness, she said in a low tone that he recognized as sounding like his father's voice. Mommy? She emptied the can in almost one gulp. Then the other, then the other. T didn't try to ask any more questions. They both just sat in their respective spots, staring at the emptied cans. He woke to her bent over him, shaking his body. The springs in his third-hand twin-sized bed for his 6'1" frame squeaked in defiance of their being resurrected, even if only for a few short moments. She whispered loudly, T, you awake? Come on, Tyrone, get up. Get up and go look yourself a job. T sucked his teeth. Oh, Mama, you know ain't no jobs in this place for me. Now just go, leave me, let me sleep, he mumbled. Look, boy, I ain't staying in this dump forever. Now you know you gotta get your butt out of this bed and get a job today. I don't care what you do, but you better do it today. He mumbled an agreement into his pillow, so she left him alone. Around midday, Melba's tended to be empty. People would be inside, scraping food together for lunch, or watching commercials on the only channel they could pick up without cable on black and white sets that were on their last leg. T decided to go outside then. He stood on his porch, shading his eyes from the beaming sun. He had found a cigarette on the floor of his room and now was smoking the last of it. He stepped down on the street, the heat rising in vapors. He let the butt slip, barely alive from his fingers, to the softened asphalt. It felt even hotter than the day before. He looked up and down the street. It was empty. He started walking towards the train tracks. Just as he got to the precipice, he saw Harrison hobbling towards him with a walking stick in one hand, a bottle of rum in the other. Hey there, T. Harrison hailed him. T waited. Hey there now. What you up to? Oh, I'm just walking around, T lied. Oh, shoot. I know that look. You can't fool me. Guess you didn't believe me yesterday. But that's all right. You young. Gotta find out the hard way. T looked at Harrison and didn't know what to say. So he didn't say anything. He lowered his eyes from Harrison's gaze and started to walk away. See you when you get back, boy, Harrison called after him. Well, 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 I guess we know how the story ends, right? Literally and figuratively. But nonetheless, that was greener grass. And, yesterday I was sitting and I was thinking about what I wanted to share next. I'm not sure. I was thinking about my Pages podcast and not podcast, my Pages vlog. And I have the next couple of episodes for that mapped out. I'm actually about to change the illusion, right? I'm about to change shirts and record the intro for that here in this spot since I already have my little setup going on. So I know what the next couple of episodes for that will be. I'm not sure what the next episode for Unpublished will be. Not sure. I'm not sure if it's going to be something related to my book right now or I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So I guess you're just going to have to tune in to the next episode of Unpublished to see if I read something else from this lovely, some more fiction from this lovely thick binder, or if it's going to be related to my book. It might be related to my book. I might do something related to my book. We'll see. We'll see. So you just have to tune in, darlings. All right. And thank you for hanging out with me in this episode. And, listen, around here, I post these on Saturdays. They're very unedited. They're very just relaxed and chill. So, you get the polished version when I'm giving you my fire tips, 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 tips when I publish those videos on Wednesdays. Speaking of which, I'm all out of my I have got to finish up my scripts and record my next batch because I don't have my next one for Wednesday done yet. So we're gonna take care of that this weekend. But anyway, thank you for hanging out with me in my little Valentine's work space area, and I will see you all in the next episode. Thanks for watching or listening. Thanks for watching or listening.